Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. It's going to be a quick tutorial again. We are learning how to make shoulder darts. So we start by marking out our bust line, chest line, on the bust and waist line. And then I ruled out these points. I roll them out. That's the bust line. I go to the on the bust line. I rule it out, and then I go to the waistline and I roll it out. I'm sorry that this is not visible. Please, as you go along, it will become more visible. Okay, so I am going to be marking out my shoulder line, my shoulder divided by 2. That's what you saw me marking out, and then I connected it to the chest line. I'm sure you know how to mark your chest line. Your chest line is your bust divided by 6. Then you add 1.5 to it, or you just come up by 1.5 to 2 inches. I also went ahead to mark out the standard neckline measurements, which is 3 inches by 3 inches, 3 inches depth and 3 inches width. Yeah, I connected it together and I rolled it out. This tutorial is quite simple and it's easy. Something you can use to do out a blouse within minutes. So I went down to slant my to do my shoulder slanting, and then I connected it to the neckline. After which I marked out my nipple to nipple measurement. That's what you saw me marking out. I went to the under bust and I removed ½ inch for my nipple to nipple measurement. So say your nipple to nipple measurement is 4.5, you go to your under bust and you measure 4 inches. So I went ahead to connect my under bust measurement, my under bust that's to the waistline, and then to the bust line. That's the nipple to nipple measurement. I came up to the shoulder, and I'm going to be dividing that shoulder measurement by 2 as you see me do. I marked it out, and I'll be connecting that to the bust line. That's the nipple to nipple measurement that is on the bust line. So the shoulder divided by 2, I'm connecting a straight line to the nipple to nipple measurement, which is on my bust line. Labeling it, so I have my chest line, I have my bust line, my on the bust, and then my waistline. So I will be moving to this other side of my pattern, and I'll be marking out 2 inches on the under bust line. I went to the waistline. I also marked 2 inches, and then I'm connecting the 2 inches on the under bust line and the 2 inches on the waistline as you saw me do. And then I'll be linking that under bust line to my nipple to nipple measurement that is on the bust line. Do you understand? So I'll come to the other side as well of my shoulder line, and I'll be taking 1.5 inches away from that point. Yes, 1.5 inches. That's going to be my dart at the shoulder line, and I'll be connecting it to my nipple to nipple measurement that is on the bust line. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm taking out the dart on the shoulder as well, and I took out 1.5 inches. Can you see it? But I'm not going to leave that 1.5 inches like that. I'm going to replace it, because if I leave it like this, then my shoulder measurement will be short. Will be shortened by that 1.5 inches. So I'm going to replace that 1.5 inches, which is what I did here, and then connected a straight line to it. Exactly. So my 1.5 inches has been replaced. That means my shoulder is standard measurements back again, and I'm connecting it now to the chest line measurement. That means that the initial armhole measurement line that I have there, I'm cancelling it out. It's no more working. I'm going to be working with the new one now. So you know how we do it, whereby we find the middle point of our armhole. That's what I'm doing here, and then I'll go in by ½ inch to avoid gaping at the armhole side. So and this is only done for the front side. When it comes to the back side, I won't be going in by ½ inch. So I'm connecting the 3 points together. That's the shoulder, the armhole, and then connecting it to the chest line. So that means that that side now of that 1.5 that I did, I'm cancelling it out. We are going to be cutting it out. That's why I'm canceling it. So all the points you see me cancel is going to be taken out. We won't be needing those parts again. So I went ahead now to input my measurements. So I'm inputting my bust measurements divided by 4. That's what I marked out. I'm going to be adding 2 inches allowance. That's what you saw me marking out. I went to the under bust, my under bust measurement divided by 4. I marked it there. I'm measuring what I have as my dart, which is 2 inches. I'm going to be replacing it, and then I will now add my 2 inches sewing allowance. I'm doing the same thing for the waistline as well. For the waist, that's my waist measurement divided by 4, and then I return the 2 inches for the dart, and then the 2 inches sewing allowance. That means on my pattern paper, or my fabric rather, I won't be adding sewing allowance again because it's already added on the pattern paper. I'm connecting all the points together. That's chest line to bust line to under bust, and under bust to the waistline. Easy peasy, right? All you have to do next is to cut it out like you see me do. So you're not cutting the whole armhole, you're cutting the new armhole. Please don't make the mistake. You make that mistake, your armhole's gonna be short. So yeah, I'm cutting it all out all the way. Remember, those places that I crossed, yes, those places will be going out as well. You see it? You see, that's it. It's easy, and it's, I want you to replicate it. And once you do it like this, just put it on your fabric and you cut it, and you have your shoulder that sewn. Is that simple? So yes, I'll also go to the neckline now, and I would remove the neckline. You can make your neckline to be whatever. You can do yours to be 3.5, to be 4, to be canoe neck, to be V neck. It's still the same way you are going to do it. So that's it for the front. Let's move to the back. In drafting out the back, remember you have to first mark out your zipper allowance. So in this case, I'm using 2 inches allowance. Yours can be 1.5, yours can be 1 inch, but I'm using 2 inches allowance in this case for my zip allowance. So that's the first thing I'm going to be marking out, which I'm doing. I'll roll it all the way, and I'll label it as well. I'll roll it all the way, and then I'll label it. So my body measurement for the back, so I'm doing my mouth. My body measurement for the back will now be starting from the zipper allowance. I hope you get it. Yes, so you see, it's going to be starting from that zipper allowance side. That's where we'll be taking all the other measurements. I marked out my shoulder. That's what I marked out there. Same shoulder as I have in front. I'm marking out the armhole. Oh my, I'm sorry for the blurriness, but don't worry. It's going to be rectified. Yes. So I marked out the chest line, the bust line, the waistline, and I'm connecting all those lines together. But because this is the back now, yeah, we won't be having things like cup and all that. What we'll be having is the back dart. Okay, so I'm rolling out all these lines. That's the bust line, the chest line, the waistline, and all the lines. Yes, that's what I'm doing. And then I went ahead to measure my neck um measurements. I used 3 inches, and then 1 inch, depth. I used 3 inches and 1 inch depth. That's what I'm doing here. And I went ahead to curve it. You can use your free hand to curve this as well, but I used French curve anyways. I also went down, I did my shoulder slants, and I connected the shoulder slants to my neckline measurements, after which I then went ahead to find the midpoint of my armhole for the back. But remember, we are not going in by half an inch. You won't be doing that. We're just going to connect the points together. And then I measured out my bust measurements divided by 4 as usual, and then I added 2 inches sewing allowance, like I added 2 inches sewing allowance to the front side, and I connected the points together. I'll go ahead and I will label it, that's actually the bust line. So yes, I am taking out my nipple to nipple measurements as well to form the darts, but I'll be going up by 1 inch, at the bust line. I went up by 1 inch and I connected all the lines together. I measured my nipple to nipple measurement from the bust line up the way all the way to the waistline. Remember, I went up 1 inch on the bust line. So at the waistline now, I'm going to be taking half inch to the right and half inch to the left. Permit me to apologize for this. I didn't know my camera wasn't well set at this point, but yeah, that was what I did. I went half inch to the right and half inch to the left, and I connected it to that 1 inch that we came up with at the bust line, like you see me do. Exactly, that's what I'm doing. And I'm crisscrossing that side out as well. That means we won't be needing that side, and that's basically it. I'll then go ahead to measure out my other measurements. In this case, I'm replacing the dart measurements, yes, and then I will then add my 2 inches sewing allowance. I went to the waistline as well. I measured out my waist measurement divided by 4. I replaced the half inch to the right and left, which is 1 inch. I replaced the 1 inch, and then I added my 2 inches sewing allowance. After which I connected from the chest line, to the armhole, from the arm what am I saying? Sorry, from the armhole to the bust line, from the bust line to the underbust, from the underbust to the waistline. That's exactly what you see me do. Yes, I connected it all together, and that's about it. That's all. That's all. So I'll go ahead now and I will cut out my pattern from the neckline to the shoulder slant to the armhole, and from the waistline to the underbust to the bust line to the chest line, and then to my armhole. And that's about it. Yes. So you just go ahead and place this on your fabric, but remember, you won't be adding sewing allowance to it again. That's all. I remember, dear. I'm laughing here because it was after I finished filming this that I remember to on my ring light. Oh my god. But that's all. That's all about it. That's all. That's the back view. I'll be taking that side out. And here we have it. The front and the back. Thanks for watching. Bye.